Hello everyone. Today we'll be learning how to implement some basic JavaScript into our websites. Hopefully, all of you have already created a simple website about dogs from the previous video using Dreamweaver. JavaScript is a higher level programming language and can be used to enhance functions on a web page. In this video, we will be using JavaScript to create options for light and dark themes on a website and the ability to change the content of the website dynamically. This basically means that the website can have its contents changed by user interactions, like clicking a button. So first, how do you implement JavaScript into HTML? Because they're two different languages. Well, you've already probably heard of JavaScript and you've probably already dealt with it in year 9 when we were learning processing. It's a similar language. So how do you implement JavaScript into HTML? It's really simple. You just put the code inside script tags. Now you may see some differences in the HTML files and CSS files that I have here with the ones with yours. I've just changed the formatting to suit me better, but it doesn't really matter. HTML and CSS actually completely ignores line breaks and spacing. So actually, in fact, you could have this entire page on one line, but we don't do that because it's really hard to format and to edit. So the first thing I want to do with you guys is to create some buttons that will change the theme of this website, because right now it's a very light basic theme, but a lot of websites these days have the option to use dark themes that are easier on the eyes at night. So to do this, the first thing that we can do is to create buttons, one for each theme. So like dark and light. So right now these buttons don't do anything. They're just there. In fact, they're in the wrong position. I should put them below the title. Okay, that looks better. So right now they don't do anything, but they can be made to do something. So how you do that is you type on click. Right now we'll leave it blank because we haven't defined anything in JavaScript yet. I'll explain later. So in JavaScript, in HTML, the best way to go about this is to create functions. So a function is basically a chunk of code that you can run at any given time. So like usually if you just wrote code in JavaScript, the code would run as soon as you loaded the page, but in our case we want it to run only when you click the button. So to do this, you have to create a function, and then you can call that function whenever you want. So let's name this function. So we'll just name it dark, and we'll name another function to change it back light. So in our on click, inside our speech marks, we write dark, and don't forget the brackets, and light. They still don't do anything because we haven't put any code inside our functions. As a demonstration, we can write alert hello world, and you use semicolons at the end of each line in JavaScript. Save this, refresh the page, and when you click dark, there you go, there's an alert that says hello world. Anyway, that was just a demonstration. So how do we change? Well, to create a dark theme, what I want to do two things. First is to change the background of the body to black, and to change the body text to white. So you can do that using this JavaScript function, get document.body.style background equals black. Don't forget the colons. Okay, so what this does is in the document it gets the body tag, it changes its style, and what part of the style, it changes the background and it makes the background black. If we save this and you refresh the page, it should actually just change. Yeah, there you go, it changed the background to black, but we need to change it back too. So if we just copy this and put it in our light function and change this to white, we'll be able to change it back and forth. Okay, now as you can see, dark, we can't see anything, so we need to do the same thing, but instead of changing the background, we have to change the color of the font. In CSS, actually not HTML, in CSS, to change the font color, you just type color, we'll type white, and there you go. Now we can see stuff. If we click light, it remains white though, so we have to write the same line in our other function, but change this back to black. And now there we go. So the next thing I want to do is, right now the change is very abrupt. I want to have some kind of smooth transition between the two. Okay, so the way you add a transition is quite easy. You add the same document.body.style. Instead of background or anything, you type transition, and you define what you want to transition. So I want to transition everything. For how long? I think 1 second should be enough. Add a semicolon, save that. Yeah, that looks a lot better, and it transitions back too. So I think that's actually a bit long. Let's change that to 0.5. I think that will look better. Yeah, that definitely looks better. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, right now these buttons look really bad. I want to change how these buttons look. So in our CSS file, we have to change the attributes of button. Let's actually, you know what, let's not do this. Let's give each button a class. Where are buttons? Here. Let's give each button a class. So class dark, and here class equals light. So in our CSS file, let's change the attributes for dark class. Let's make the background black for the dark theme one. It makes sense, but we have to change the font color to white if we're going to make the background black. Let's see how this looks. Okay, yeah, so that. Oh, but there's an ugly border, so let's remove the border. Okay, that looks better. It's a bit small though, so we can add some padding. Padding is basically spacing between like the text and the button. It adds spacing basically. So let's add 10 pixels of spacing. Okay, let's do 10 by 20. I added two numbers here, as you can see. 10 pixels is the spacing on top and the bottom. 20 is on the sides, so it doesn't look so square. It'll look rectangular, which makes it look better. So there you go, it looks rectangular now. We want to do the same with the light button. Light, but we want the background to be white and the color to be black. Okay, that looks a lot better now. So the thing I want to do is, I don't want to put them here, I want to put them on the other side of the page. Yeah, I want to put them on the other side of the page. So to do that, you can add the attribute float and just type right. Same thing down here, and it should, yeah, it puts it on the other side. The font also seems a bit small. Let's change that. Let's make it 16 pixels, and I know you're not supposed to use pixels, but for the sake of simplicity, it's not like you're going to be putting this on any machine. Oh, it's not font, it's font size. I feel like font size. Okay, yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that looks better. So the other thing I wanted to do was to make it so that when you click each of the breeds, it would like show a picture of the breed below it, but only when you click it. So the way you do that is, well, make each item in the list a link, just like in the in the navigation bar. So you go back to your HTML page, in your link tags here, add a in your list tag, sorry, add a link tag, which is an A tag. Your reference is nothing right now because, well, we haven't defined anything, so just put a hashtag. Hashtag means it doesn't refer to anything. And you have to put the name in between the A tags, in between these two tags. Otherwise this text won't be the link, if that makes sense. Well, what I'm trying to say is that if you put the text outside of the link, it won't be clickable like this. So only the top one is clickable, but this one isn't. So you have to actually put it in between the A tags. And we'll do the same for the golden retriever. Okay. Now they should all be links. Now I don't want them to look like links. Links look bad in HTML. I don't know why they designed them, but probably they designed them in the 1990s. Probably look good then. So, change the look of the links, which are A tags, but you have to keep in mind that all of the links on this page are A, which means these are A. But we don't want to change how these look. So the way you do that is you specify .body and A. So this basically tells the CSS that you're only interested in the A's inside the body of the HTML. So the first thing I want to do with the links is actually change it so that the color matches the one with the theme of the page, this shade of blue. So we change the color to what's the color here? This is the color. Copy this and here. Okay, that looks better. They're looking very light though, so I want to make it a bit bold. How you do that is you type attribute font weight and you just type bold semicolon. Save that. Yeah, okay, that looks a bit better. Now how the underlines don't look good, so you change that by typing text decoration and then you just type none, and that should remove the underlines. There you go. Right now they don't do anything because it's referring to a hashtag, which means nothing. So as we did with the buttons, we add this on click thing to a function in JavaScript. So now we're going to add images. So how does JavaScript, I mentioned changing changing the content dynamically of a web page before. How do you actually do that is let's create a function first. Let's create a function for sheet2. So function C, just try and keep it short. Programmers don't like typing. You add document, and it's very Englishy. You click document.get element by ID. So what this does is, wait a second. Okay, so what this does is it gets anything in the HTML file with the ID picture, and it replaces the HTML inside that ID with something, if that makes sense. So right now we don't have any ID called picture, so first we decide where we want to put that picture. I think we should put it below, right? Below makes sense. We'll put it below. So you put div tags and the ID is equal to picture. Okay. So what this will do, right now I won't do anything. We have to do the onClick thing. OnClick is equal to, the function is named sheet. Don't forget the brackets. Okay. So what this will do, when you click the sheet2 link, it'll run this function. When it runs this function, it will get the element of picture. Picture is here. Okay, so picture, it will replace the HTML with nothing. Right now it's nothing, but to test this you can type like hello, and it will replace, when you click sheet2, it replaces whatever was there, which is nothing, with hello. So we want to put in images first. So first things first, you want to create a folder called images where your website, it has to be inside the same folder as your website. So if you put it in a desktop, then you want to put your images folder on the desktop too. What you put in here is basically the same as HTML. You can like type, for example, a tags, and it will write the HTML code for you, not just the text. Like we typed hello, it typed the text, but if you put an HTML tag, it will work as an HTML tag. For example, I can say a href equals nothing. Hello. And you close the a tags. It will actually create a link for me that I can click on. You can tell by the cursor, but it doesn't actually do anything. So to create an image in HTML, you use img tags, and when you want to put the not the URL, the location of the image, you click you type src equals, and you have to use single quotation marks, because JavaScript is going to replace picture with everything inside the double quotes. So if you replace this with a double quote, JavaScript won't know where to stop and when to start. So you use single quotes to maintain the distinction between these outside ones and the ones inside. So you type src, and our location is images /she.jpg. You close the image tag, and this should work. There we go. You get a picture for sheet2 when you click sheet2. You do this same with the Pomeranian and the golden retriever, so you can just copy the entire function again. So we do that with the Pomeranian. This time we change this from she.jpg to JPEG. Same with the golden, we like to keep things short, so no need to write retriever. And we type golden.jpg. And now if I refresh the page, it won't do anything. Why? Because I've only called function she once here. I have to write on click for each of the links. So on click equals to Pomeranian, over the brackets, and same for here, on click is equal to golden. Okay, now it should work. Yeah. Okay, there you go, it works now. Yeah, if you want the same images that I've used, I will link them in the description below, so you can download the same ones. Make sure you keep it in your image folder, but honestly it doesn't matter, you can just use Google Images. Alright, so right now these images look good, but usually it's good practice as a programmer to have to allow the user the option to hide the image again. So even if you've opened it, you want to be able to hide it again. That's just good practice. So the easiest way to do that is just to create a hide option. So in your JavaScript getElementById function, you can add multiple items. So you do that by adding a plus, then another set of double speech marks. This time you create another a tag, on click. Well, we haven't decided a function yet. We haven't defined the function yet, but I'm gonna just call it hide. Okay. I will copy paste this for each of the ones here, and we'll define the function hide. And what you want to do is replace the ID picture, the ID picture with nothing, because we want to hide it. Okay, this should work now. So when you click sheet 2, yeah, there's an option to hide it. Why doesn't it do anything? I wonder why. Oh, I've forgotten the brackets. Guys, I'm making these mistakes on purpose. You gotta tell me when I do something wrong. Okay. There you go, hides it again. Now you probably noticed when I hovered over the link, there was no cursor. Like here, there's a cursor. There's no cursor here. It's good practice to make sure you have the cursor, and you do that by typing your href equals hashtag, ensuring that you use single quotation marks, otherwise JavaScript will get confused. Okay, save that, and now when now it shows the option to hide it, and it hides it. Another thing I want to do is, right now the hide button is in an awkward place. I want to put it underneath directly. The easiest way to do that is just to add a line break first. And now it should hopefully be, it should be under the image. Now that's a bit small. To make the user interface better, it should be a bit bigger so that the user can actually see it. So the great thing about CSS is that you don't have to you have multiple ways to define attributes in CSS. You can attach a style sheet like we have here, but you can also use the style. You can also just type style inside any tag you want to style, and then inside speech marks put the CSS you want. So here I can change the font size to 16 pixels. Type it just like as if it were CSS with the colon and the semicolon. So we'll copy this for each of the A tags for each of the Pomerian and Shih Tzu and Golden. And let's try that now. Okay, that's still a bit small. Let's change it to 20 then. Pics. Okay, yeah, that's a bit bigger now. Okay, so that's easier to see, and you can just type hide, and it will click hide, sorry, and it will just hide it. So, hopefully you found this video useful. You learned how to use JavaScript to change the page by user interaction. And well, I prefer dark theme, so I'm just gonna use it here, and you find out how to get pictures by clicking links using JavaScript, dynamically changing the page. So I hope you found this video useful, and as always, I'm going to recommend you to keep going, keep exploring. You want to advance your page further, go for it. There's a good resource called w3schools.com, and it takes you through each of the things like in order, I guess, so you'll get to difficult stuff eventually. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you learned something today.